Hey everyone, welcome back to Rad City Design Studio. This is Mary and I am coming to you from inside of my Canva account. I spend a lot of time in here as a corporate trainer and instructional designer. I've become very, very familiar with Canva. So of course I would introduce those different talents and skills into my YouTube channel and my jewelry making business. So let's get started. I'm thinking a new logo, new colors, maybe make some business cards, maybe make some new earring cards, things like that. And I have two really cool ways to show you how to put them together at the end of the video. And the second way is going to blow your mind. So stick around for that. Canva is, if you haven't heard of it, it is a free service, but it does have premium content that you can pay for, which I do because, again, I use it for work. But there's a lot of cool free stuff that you can do with it. And if you do decide to upgrade, I think it's only $12 a month, which isn't necessarily cheap, but compared to Photoshop and things like that, it's definitely a better value. And I find that it's a lot easier and it is like you can really make some beautiful stuff with it. So without further ado, I'm going to show you this. This was the card that I made a few weeks ago. I've been using this as my earring card and it's cute, but there's a few things that I'm missing from it. I don't have any sort of contact info on there. I don't have, any sort of, hey, this is a brand and you can find it online at all. So I want to make sure that I'm introducing that. Also, the colors are a little darker, and I want something that's maybe a little bit more bright and vivid and perfect for spring, but still keeping that Rad City feel. So when you're designing something, you want to think about what is your brand, and while you're thinking about that, you also want to think like, who is my customer? Who am I trying to sell to? Who am I trying to appeal to? And that you want to have a very crystal clear picture of that person in your mind. I have some tips for that. I'll share those on another video. But for now, we're going to remake this and jazz it up a bit. I'm going to start by coming over here to the Create a Design button. It's this little purple button up here in the upper left. And the best thing about Canva, in my personal opinion, is that you get all of these different awesome templates that you can work off of. And sometimes it's good to just have kind of like a starting point. Like when you first get into jewelry making and you're not really sure where to start, you get a kit that has like everything you need, right? So these templates are kind of that same idea. So you'll see up here along the top here, you've got business cards, you've got logos, flyers, and I mean, the list really does go on. But I want, I'm going to do kind of a business card style, but I want to start by revamping my logo. So I'm going to come here and click logo. And it's going to give me a blank space that is 500 pixels by 500 pixels. I'm going to give it a name really quickly before I forget, because I always forget. I have so many untitled designs on my computer. So I'm going to call this Rad City Spring logo. Okay. And then, like I said, you've got this blank space and you're looking at it and you're like, what the heck do I do? Right. So over here, if you click on this little button that says design up here at the top, you're going to see a lot of different templates that you can choose from. Like this one's really pretty. Not really my style. I like this. I think this would be perfect for like a salon or something. This is just not really like, I'm very like hyper colors and things like that. Technicolor wasteland is what I like to say. But like these are all different elements that you can remove. So like if you didn't like that, you could delete it and then it's gone. And then these little, splashes and things, you've got all of this to work with. I'm going to get rid of this. Like I said, it's not really for me, but that's okay. I'm going to come back over here to design and see what else I've got. I I actually really like this one. I like the idea of this one. It's bright, it's vivid, but like anybody could come in here and grab this and this is their new logo. So I'm going to make some changes to it and kind of give it the Rad City feeling. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the background white. I'm going to click background color. I'm going to click white just to, give it some contrast so I can see where I want to go from there. Now, there are parts of this that I really like the wording here. I like this little oval in the background, and I like this little since 2024. I'm going to take out all of these little stars. And this one is stuck behind this word, so I'm going to move that word out of the way. And I think this was meant to be like a shadow of the word, so I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to get rid of these cherries. This would be a super cute logo or design for a t-shirt for Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, something like that. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the colors. I probably should have started there in the first place, but my brain doesn't work that way. So I'm going to click add page. I'm going to not touch this anymore. I'm going to click add page, and then I'm going to go and find a picture, and I'm going to do that on Pinterest. So I'm going to open Pinterest, and I had bookmarked this photo because I really, really love the different colors in it. It's very beautiful. But let's see what other options we have. If you've never used Pinterest before, it's basically just like a way to put together mood boards, pull inspiration photos. You can find tutorials. There's so many different things that you can do with Pinterest. This is just one of the things that I like to do. And so I'm just scrolling through, looking at these different succulents and seeing which ones kind of capture my eye when it comes to colors. This is super pretty. I like that. Let's see if I open that. Let's see what else it pulls up. Yeah, see, like this is really lovely. This green and pink. Gorgeous. I love that. What else? I could literally look at these all day. So I'm just going to pick one and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided on a photo. Thanks to Jasper Blooms Australia for this photo. Now, this is where I want to be really, really strict and careful about how I describe this. I am not going to be using this photo in any of my assets. And assets are like images, fonts, things like that. I'm just looking for color inspiration. So this is not something that I necessarily plan to use as a focal point. I just want the colors. So I'm gonna actually maybe saturate this a little bit to give the colors more pop. So I'm gonna click edit, and let's see, Luna is always a favorite. This makes the colors a little bit more vivid and saturated. Belvedere is usually a go-to. And then I've been really liking this Capri. It makes everything saturated but bright. And that's really what I'm going for. So I'm going to go this route. Now, I need to pull some of these colors out of here. So I'm going to click on Elements. And I'm just going to get a shape. And it's just going to be a square. It could be a circle. I'm going to hold my Shift key and drag it so that it maintains its size. Don't need it to be too big. Up. And then I let go of the Shift key too soon. That should be good. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here, and then I am going to, just for my own sanity, I don't like boxes without borders. It's so weird. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to make 5 of these. I think 5 is a good place to have your colors. Okay, so I have 5 colors, and I'm going to just kind of set them right there. Now, For each of these boxes, I'm going to, go through and pick one of these colors. So I'm going to start on this first one. I'm going to click on the color. And then I am going to I'm going to click right here where it says add new color. Click the dropper. And then I am going to look for a color that I like. Like this is really nice and vivid. Get rid of that. This is super nice and vivid. I like that. Okay, next one. And, I might do this and pick out, 30 different colors and just keep switching them until they look cohesive and I like, what I see. I like that pink. Well, no, I want to keep the pink. Click on that one. Color dropper. Maybe like these yellows in here are nice. They have a nice honey color. This one is nice too. I like that. Let's try this color. Maybe some of this super vivid green. Just have to find the right area. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. And then this last one, I want to try to maybe grab either some of this lavender or maybe some of this blue down here in this corner. So once again, eyedropper, and let's see, maybe like right there. That's not really lavender enough for me, or that's not really purple enough for me, so maybe, but again, I want it to be like hyper saturated. Maybe like here. Okay, so now I have some colors. I don't know if I'm super happy with this color scheme though, so let's play around. I'm gonna redo the green. Maybe go for kind of like a blue, green, teal. Maybe like here. Okay, I like that. Maybe a lighter pink for this one. Maybe here. Maybe here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. And then this I think is a little too orangey. So maybe a more pale color. Trying to decide what I like. Yeah, I think I'll just have to go somewhere in this range. Maybe here. Yeah, okay. I like that. So these look nice. And again, you wouldn't necessarily think to put these colors together, but seeing how nature kind of pulls together different colors to create, I mean, it's not happening. So anyway, you might not think these colors go together. You might be surprised, or you would never think to put them together. But seeing them on something natural like this shows you how they can work together. So I like these. I'm going to utilize those as my my color scheme, and then we'll meet back here and keep going. Okay, so let's come back up here and we'll keep working on this. So I'm going to go through and start playing with some of the colors here. So when I click on this oval, it shows me that there are two different colors involved. There's the filler color and then there's the border color. So I'm going to start with the filler color. Let's make that green just to kind of give it some pizzazz. And then maybe we'll do, as the border color, we'll do that super bright pink. Kind of like that. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, that looks cute. Okay. I like that. Since 2024, I don't really think I'll need that. It reminds me of like PE shirts for some reason. I don't know. And here I'm going to change this to say Rad City Design Co. And obviously that font is way too big. So I'm going to drop that down to like 45 just as a good starting place. Okay. Got that there. I do not like this font. I think the font looks great for that original design, but it's not really for me. So I do have a few favorite fonts in here. You can use the free fonts that they give you. You can also, there's also premium fonts. Like if you see the little crown next to it, that means that those are premium fonts, and you do have to have a subscription for those. You can also upload fonts. Like I uploaded this vampire font a long time ago. That actually doesn't look too bad, but I wanted a little bit more readable. And what I always say is when you've got this scaled down to a small, little design, because like this is your profile picture, right? You want to be able to read it when it's this small or when it's blown up huge. So I am going to just kind of set this right back here, and I want this font to be more legible. So I'm going to come back up and find, so a couple of the ones that I really like Poppins. I really like Brittany. This one's hard to read though, so it's more of like a design, like if you're making a shirt or something. I don't think I've ever seen this one. That one's kind of nice if it was big enough. I mean, not for this design, but I like that font. Let's see. I think what I want to use though is Bright Wall. Yeah, this is kind of like my favorite at the moment. So I'm going to just make that 50. There we go. Okay, so I like this font. Don't like this color scheme. So let's change the font. I'm going to go with maybe this bright pink. No, maybe light pink. Maybe stick with this. Maybe this with a different border. So I'm gonna make it that pink color, and then I'm gonna come over here to effects and change the outline effect to a different color. And let's try that blue color. Okay, that's fun. That's kind of fun. Even that's not bad. Meh. We'll stick with this for now. Okay. One other thing that I've been really into is doing, instead of doing that outline, outlines can make your font very readable, but it also can make it a little overwhelming. I really like this effect, the neon. If you've been around my channel long enough, you know that I love neon. If I go lower intensity, it makes it darker. If I go higher intensity, it's going to make the font white with a glowing background. I like the way this looks. So I'm going to stick with that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and then put them right on top of each other so it glows nice and bright. Okay. And now that I see it like this, I'm kind of rethinking this background, this little symbol thing here. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to find something else to put here and see what we like. So I'm going to just select both of those, group them together because I want them to stay stacked on top of each other. And I'm going to make sure that this the font here is directly in the center. So I'm going to go to position, And then here where it says align to page, I'm going to click middle. I'm going to click center. That way the words are exactly in the very dead center of this square. As if you see them blocked out like this, that means that you're in the right spot. Okay. And then so now I want some sort of an element to tie this together. And I really like the idea of like a circle. So I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to type in circle. Mostly because a lot of profile pictures and things like that are round. Facebook, Instagram, they make your profile photo a circle. So I've got circle. I'm going to come in here and just look and see under graphics, all. And then I'm just going to kind of look and see what I like. Like I love these kind of abstract, looks like they were hand drawn sort of like that. Make it bigger. And then I'm going to put it backwards. So layer, send to back. Maybe a little smaller. Again, I want that to be right dead center. Now you can use your guidelines to find that center point, but sometimes doing position is even easier because you don't have to eyeball it. I'm going to change the color of this color, and I'm going to change it to that like pretty green color that we had. And oh, I love this. Okay, this looks really good to me. Again, all of this is to your own taste. You may think this looks horrible, and you would never buy from this company. And that's totally okay because you might not be the target audience. Now, one thing that I'm noticing right now is that the Y in city is covered up by the C and co. So I'm going to separate these lines. You could do that by hitting the enter button a bunch, but I like to use the spacer. So I'm going to make sure I've clicked on the writing here. And then right here, this little line with the two arrow here, and you can space your letters. Or you can space your, and I'm going to ungroup this, trash one of them. Whoop. All right, so I took one of them off. I'm going to space it and then I'll add it back. So I just want those two to not overlap so that I still see that Y. Okay. I'm going to just, again, center it. And then, again, I'm going to make another one. Stack them on top of each other. Wonder what happens if I make another one. Even brighter. Okay, yeah. I like this. I think this is nice. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I've got my colors from this. I can trash that. And now I can save this. So, Rad City Spring logo. I'm going to... you can just exit out of this and it will save itself. But I'm also going to actually download it as an image. So I'm going to click share. I'm going to click download. And then personally, I like to have a transparent background simply because if I do that, I can put this image on anything and it will just be kind of like a watermark. And that's what I think a good logo can act as a watermark. I think that's a great way to do it. So I'm going to do transparent background. So if I put this on whatever, it's not going to be a big white box with something in the middle. It's just going to be this. Oh, so share, download, transparent background, and I'm going to save that to my stuff. Now, if you recall what that original design looked like, pretty different, right? But again, just looking at that blank white screen, it was hard for me to visualize what I wanted. But as I started playing around with a template that was already built, I decided, what parts I liked, what parts I didn't. And in the end, it doesn't look anything like that, but it gave me a jumping off point. Okay, so I'm going to come back to create a design. This time I'm going to do a business card, and it's going to automatically set this for 2 inches by 3.5 inches, which means it's going to be a vertical card. And you could make this like a custom thing as well, if you wanted to. I kind of know what I'm looking for though, because I want it to be similar to the card I had before. I just want a few more elements. Okay, so I'm going to click on my design, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And it's going to look pixelated because this is blown up huge. Like, this is going to be a business card. So this is obviously going to be a lot different. You know, it's going to be more crisp when it's scaled down. What else do I want on here? I want to have like a little city. So elements. I'm going to type in skyline. And I'm going to find one that I like. There's a lot of options here. There's like these minimalist ones. Some of them are going to be like SVG files, which means that I can change the colors. Some of them are going to be just clip art, which means that I can't change the colors. So I just need to find one that fits, you know, quite what I'm looking for. Like, this looks cool, but it's a little boxy. Nah, I don't like that one. Okay, let's see. This is the one I used before, I believe. And you have 3 colors that you can change. I don't want to use the same one. Let's see this one. This is cute. Yeah, see, I like how this looks like it was sketched in like a little, like using your ballpoint pen while you were bored. So I'm going to put that here at the bottom, because I want to balance one heavy image with another heavy image. Let's make this smaller. I'll play around with this. Okay, now this though, I need to change color on. So I'm gonna click color, and let's make it the same color as the font. Okay, yeah, I like that. And I want to have like a bar down here that has all of the info on how people can reach me. So let's raise this a little bit, and then like I can put that here. But I want to balance the color because I've got green up here and I don't have it down here. So let's go elements. We'll do just like a square banner, or I should say like a rectangle, like that. But I need this to come here. And I'm going to make this that same green color. Okay, that looks really cool. I mean, it doesn't look like much now, but it will. Okay. Like that. Maybe even a little less. Ah, I didn't mean to delete it. Okay, how about that? That looks nice. Okay, that's got some balance. Now I'm going to put all of my details down here, and I'm going to look for like the logos. So instead of writing Facebook and then, you know, the Facebook page, I'm going to just have a little icon. So let's say Facebook. Can this one change the colors? It can. Okay. Let's make that pink. I'll drop that right there. And then I'll put Facebook next to it. Let me find some more icons though. Let's say Instagram. And I'm going to look for one that makes sense. This one's kind of that same square shape. And then if I want to make them exactly the same size, I can click on the icon, click position, and then see what size they are. So this is 0.11 inches. So I'm going to just make this the same. So I'm going to click on it. 0.11. And then it will size down to be exactly the same size. Turn that pink. Okay. And then I also just recently registered a domain for a website that I will one day build. So website, maybe having this on my card will inspire me. And then this one is kind of the same shape. So again, position 0.11, drop it down here and turn it pink. There we go. So this one actually has two colors. So I'm going to turn the white into that green so it matches the other ones. And then I'm just going to kind of separate them for now, and then I'm going to put in the writing. So I'm going to come in here, add a text box. My Facebook page is Rad City Resin, which I promise I'm going to start using more. I don't like Cardo. I'm going to do Poppins. That's my favorite, like, readable thing. And I need to make it small enough to fit. Let's make it like 4 point. Right there. And let's make this white. White. Okay. So that's, I actually want this one to be in the middle. I like Instagram to be the first one. I don't know why. I'm going to add another text box. Actually, I'm just going to duplicate this text box since it already has the formatting I want. Instagram is Rad City Art. Now I can move this closer to that. And then move that here. I'm going to duplicate this again. And this is radcity.co. And I'll move that here. And then so now it's just like me going through and figuring out how to space everything so that everything has breathing room, but it doesn't look like there's wasted space. I think that looks nice. Okay, so I have this now. So this is the business card, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and click share, download. This one, I'm not gonna worry about making a transparent file. That was just for the logo part. And then I'm gonna click download. And that's gonna save to my desktop or wherever. I think it saves to my downloads. Okay, so I have that now. Now I need to put this all into, I want to, print a bunch of it at once. So I'm going to make a new document, create a design. And this one, I'm going to make it 8.5 by 11, which is standard letter size. Okay. So I have this. I'm going to name it again because I'll forget if I don't. Rad City Sticker Sheet. Okay. Now, the sticker sheets that I have are actually printer shipping labels. And so in the middle of the page, there is a break where there's two different labels. So I'm going to put that line there so that I work around it. Elements, align. I'm going to stretch that all the way out. And I'm going to make sure that that is in the middle of the page. Middle means this way. Center means this way. Okay. It doesn't really matter if it's centered. It matters if it's in the middle. Okay. So now I know, where I'm working with. You'll see this little white border. This is your print bleed border. And what print bleed means is that if you were to send this off to a printer, or like Vistaprint or FedEx or wherever, they're going to ask you to include a print bleed. That way they know that whatever you're designing fits within what they're going to print it on. So usually, especially with a sticker sheet, the sticker portion is smaller than the actual backing of it. So you want to make sure you respect that print bleed. Okay. I'm going to upload files, and I'm going to look for that logo. Guess this is the one I used. Okay, and I have it here, so it's now in my uploads. I'm going to click there. And obviously that's way too big to print, but I want this. Let's see what the dimensions here are. So this is 4.13 by 7.22. I want this more in like the 2-inch range, maybe even smaller, because for some of them I'm going to put them on cardstock for my earring holders. So maybe like right there. And then I'm going to give a generous gap from the edge. And then you'll notice that you don't really know where to cut, like if you're going to cut this. So I'm going to give this a border. And I'm going to make that just like 1 pixel. Okay, I don't know. I want to be able to see it like that. And then I'm going to color it green. Okay, so now I know where to cut. There we go. Okay. I'm actually going to enhance the color a little bit. Try Capri again. Yeah, like that. Super bright and vivid. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to just duplicate it as many times as it will fit safely in this row. And I'm going to just kind of center that. Cool. I'm going to, because I have all of that selected right now, I can click this duplicate again and it'll give me all 4. And then again, I'm just going to try to center it right there. And then I have these gaps here. I could probably fit at least 1 or 2 more. So for these, I'm going to turn them on the side so that I can fill in this unused space as much as possible, while still giving everything a respectful distance so that nobody gets overlapped or accidentally cut off. I kind of want to bring this up a little bit. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this line. It doesn't need to be printed because there's no sticker paper in the middle there. And yeah, so I have this as a working template. Or not as a working template, but like a proof sheet almost. Sorry, I had to fix that. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to export this so that I can print it off. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click share, download, and then you could either save this as a PNG, but when you're printing stuff, it's actually sometimes better to print as a PDF. Usually CMYK is the way to go. For some reason, my specific printer likes this better as RGB, and I'll show you the difference. So like I'm going to save it as this first. So you can see it. See, the colors are true to what I designed. And if I come back here and save it again, and this is probably not interesting to anybody, but PDF print, CMYK, download. So same file that I'm exporting, but now the colors are super muted. And not that I don't like this colorway, I think that's kind of pretty too. It's just not my hyper Technicolor spring dream that I had in mind. All right, so I'm gonna go print it out and we'll see what the end result looks like. All right, guys, I'm back in the studio. I have my prints, and the first thing I'm gonna do is separate the two parts of this sticker sheet. This was a label sheet by Avery, but these, these label sheets are a nice affordable way to get sticker paper without paying inflated prices. And I'm always looking for a bargain. So the first thing I'm gonna do is separate this at the midpoint because it's perforated. So I'm just gonna kind of crisp that up and separate by pulling them apart. Slowly but surely. Please ignore my right hand. I did not paint it. I hardly ever paint the right one because I'm so uncoordinated, and my fingernails are so destroyed from opening jump rings and things like that. Okay, so I have this. Now, I'm gonna save one side of this for later, and I'm gonna work on this. These are the cardstock sheets that I pulled out of my collection in purple, pink, and lighter purple. I'm going to see kind of what I like best as a backing part of this because I want to give it a little bit of stability. Okay, so first things first is I need to trim these and get them out of the sticker paper. Now, I, a long time ago, lost the blade for this, but I'm gonna try something. I've never done this before, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Here, we'll start with these two. And I'm going to try using my X-Acto knife to slice it. And you know what? I think actually I'm gonna try to align it to this plastic instead of, no, I am gonna put it here. Okay, so I wanna get it as close as possible. I'm gonna hold this down and I'm going to slide my blade along the track. It sounds like a guitar string. Okay, now that did work. It's a fairly clean edge. I got a little bit of weirdness on this one. This one looks great. I do think that this blade is too dull though, so let me see if I have another. Please be super duper careful if you're ever using one of these. Let's make sure it's not gonna come out. Okay. I'm gonna try just like using these as my test dummy to do the other side. This would be 1,000 times easier if I knew where this little blade went. But it kind of worked. Looks like I'll be able to pull it. It's almost like a kiss cut. If you've ever worked with like a sticker maker or something, kiss cut just means that like it doesn't cut all the way through, it just cuts down to the backing. Okay, I think we can work with this. I'll trim these other halves off. I'm just gonna do this freehand. Yeah, see, it didn't go all the way through. Weird. Honestly, it might just be easier and cleaner to just cut them out with scissors. So that's what I'm gonna do. Listen, nobody ever said that homemade items needed to look perfect. So, all right. Done is better than perfect. All right, I got 4 more. Just gonna make quick work of these. These are good to be mounted onto the cardstock. And I'm just gonna tidy up all these little scraps. Now, I don't throw this stuff away. I always use these for labels. I'm such a like use every part of the animal sort of person. These make great little, when I'm like redoing my beads, I'll put it on this side. Like, let me just show you one. Like here, I'm sorting all of my crystal and seed beads into this box. And actually, I've decided just to make this a crystal bead box. And so I'll peel off this little label. It's literally just some of this. Peel that off and replace it with one that says crystals, or I might even just like cut that off to take out the seeds part, because I put the seed beads into their own container. Like, it's all organized chaos is what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside so that I can put them into a baggie later. And then I'm gonna set up for the second batch. Okay, we're back. I've reset. My wrist has rusted. I have really bad like carpal tunnel, so it makes cutting hard, which is why I had that paper cutter. But I had a special plan for this set. And I think you're gonna find it interesting, I hope. But basically, I was watching a video where someone was making stickers, printed it out on a label sheet like this from a home computer, and then they laminated the sticker. But they laminated it with a piece of holographic laminate paper or laminate plastic. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do to just kind of like test the waters with this. So let's see what it will look like. So I'm only gonna use about half of this, but I'm just gonna leave these completely still together to make this easier. And I'm going to peel this apart. Maybe. I'll cut all this out. Okay, so I'm going to peel it about halfway like this. And then I'm going to slide this under like that. And then I'm going to let this roll back. And I think this should be enough. Okay, so just gonna let it slide back. And as it goes, I'm going to try to smooth it best I can. Again, I haven't done this yet, so I don't know if it's gonna work or not. All right, smooth, smooth. smooth, smooth, smooth. Try to get it to lay as flat as possible. It looks pretty good, actually. That was fairly simple. Okay, now I'm going to trim it where it hits that middle point. Not a perfect line, but that's okay. All right, so now I have my sticker sheet. Now, the person that I saw this, and I'll put a link to the video in the description. The person that was making this then fed this into her Cricut and had it cut the designs out. I have a Cricut. I'm not gonna try to set it up right now. That's just more than I wanna do for this simple video. But I think if I was gonna make like a big batch of these, I would probably do that. So now I'm just gonna cut these out and we'll come back. All right, so now I have two sets. I have the laminated ones and then I have the just sticker. Now these actually are pretty strong, and I would feel confident just using this because of the laminating. And in fact, I could even have laminated the back to make it even stronger. So I'm gonna leave these as is. They're so cool, look at this. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna set those aside. And then for these aren't quite as strong. They're a little bit flimsy, so I'm gonna put these on some cardstock so that they're nice and strong. And I don't know what color I like best. This one, you know, ties the whole thing together. Like, it looks good with the font. This would give it, you know, a little extra color, something different to look at. Or this dark purple, you know, gives it a bit more contrast. I'm kind of leaning toward this, okay? So what I'm gonna do is place these onto here. Again, these are sticker paper, so I'm just gonna peel the sticker off if I can. Okay. And I'm going to stick these just right directly on. Now, all of this is optional. You don't have to do any of this. You could just send them to a printer and have them, you know, send you back some cards. That's totally okay. But I like doing things on my own just to see if I can. That's how I got into jewelry making. Is I would see like a really gorgeous designer piece, especially like Alexander McQueen. He was one of my absolute most favorite designers ever. Tragically, he's no longer on Earth. He's no longer alive, which is so sad because he was such an amazing talent. But his style was really, really formative to me whenever I was younger. I think I was probably in my like late teens, early 20s when I really fell in love with him, and just looking at the things that he was making, nobody else was making that stuff. So when I would see his designs, I'd just be like, how did he dream that up? Like, where did that come from? And I'll maybe like put a couple of pictures of things that he's made or things he designed or things that he was known for up on the screen here so that you can see. But man, what a visionary. And anyway, I would look at his stuff and I would say, like, you know, I've got all these beads, I've got necklaces that I could take apart and Frankenstein into something else. How can I, is there a way that I can turn my things into, you know, the jewelry that he made, or the clothes he made, the handbags he made, incredible handbags. And they sell for crazy amounts of money. And I just, you know, that was one of my really big inspirations when it came to learning my own style, learning, you know, what types of tools and supplies I would want to work with. And so that's why, like, every time I see something that's made in like a mold, there's so many cool molds, so many amazing artists who turn them into something special because they have that touch. I don't though. Like if I were to take up sewing, I would probably get really bored trying to use a pattern, you know? I would want to just like start stitching and see what happened. So I think there's enough people in the world that someone can appreciate all different styles like that, right? So if I want to have this cute little homemade, looks like she printed it on her home printer because she did, business card or earring back or whatever I ultimately use it for, there's plenty of people out there who will appreciate that. Will everybody? No, and that's okay. Because I'm not designing for them. I'm designing for the people that will like it. You're never gonna find one thing that everyone's going to like. That's impossible. Absolutely impossible. And some people might look at you and say, wow, you're super authentic. I love your style. I think that you're awesome. Some people might say, wow, you seem super fake. How can anyone be that happy all the time? I've definitely been told that before. And it's just, you know, I'm not happy all the time, but I do feel like if I fake it, then I'll make it. If I act happy, I feel more happy. If I, you know, if I need to rage, if I need to cry, then I'll do that too. And that's totally okay. I don't know what I'm even talking about right now. I'll probably cut all this out. I keep saying that. This is why I normally do voiceover. Okay. Got a couple here. I got 2 more. These little scraps will make for some fun labels. But I grew up in a household that didn't have a whole lot when we were young. Had even less when my mom was young, when my dad was young. So I like to make do with what I can find. And if if someone gifts me a necklace and it's not exactly to my taste, then I look at it and say, well, what parts of this do I like? Let me take those and I'll leave behind the rest and find something else to do with it. Because you're the designer of your own life. You don't have to answer to anyone. At least not for that. Yeah, I have no idea what I've been talking about this whole time. I have pretty severe ADHD, if you haven't heard me say that before. So I'm just kind of rambling. I think this is still a little thick on this side. There we go. And the best part of this is that I can test out tons of different examples. And then when I find the design that I actually love and I decide, yes, that's the one, then I'll have those professionally printed. But until then, I'm just going to keep playing. It's like scrapbooking, you know? Everyone's always looking for the exact instructions, and as a trainer, as a corporate trainer, I definitely understand that. I spend all of my time thinking about that, but sometimes you just have to go with it and just see where it takes you. So like 2 sets of cards. These are more so stickers. These are like earring cards or business cards, but I've got all of this to work with. Obviously it's not really enough. I'd have to definitely print out more and assemble more. But this should be about the right size to fit into one of my like little baggies like this, which is usually how I just give my, how I package stuff. Yeah, see, that fits right in there. Ooh, perfect fit. And then we'll see if this does too. This might be a little too big. Just slightly too big. Oh, no. Yeah, here we go. Well, it doesn't like this at all because it is a little thicker, but it did fit. Sweet. Awesome. All right, I'll meet you back at my computer for final thoughts. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. I really love the final product, and it makes me want to just go and make even more stickers. I hope you had fun. If you liked this format, let me know in the comments down below. Go make something awesome this week, and as always, stay rad. If you like this tutorial, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. We'll see you again next week.